Дамы и господа, встречайте на льду со своим произвольным танцем пара из России.
And now the French please welcome on the ice representing Russia, Tiffany Zagorsky, Jonathan Guerreiro.
Well, they train in Moscow, so plenty of support here from the hometown crowd. This is Tiffany Zagorsky and Jonathan Guerreiro representing Russia.
Really beautiful, unexpected entry into this stationary lift. Nice changes of position and well executed. Nicely through the twizzle sequence, nailing the grab on the first twizzle, keeping their unison. No trouble on the last twizzle, which is a feature to try to get the level 4. And a wonderful Superwoman dive over the back. Good control from Jonathan holding the one leg. The position needs to be held for 3 seconds in order to count. And right into the spin. Very nicely maintained rotational speed throughout that long spin. Beautiful balance in this rotational position without any support from her arms. Difficult to hold on to that. Oh, very lovely performance from these guys. You know, what I really appreciate is they have a beautiful carriage of their upper bodies throughout the whole piece. It's very classical, but it looks effortless. It doesn't look like they're trying too hard to maintain. And I was surprised at the musical effectiveness of their footwork. It's very hard to do. you know, always the footwork tends to look like some sort of technical exercise. Let us show you all our edges so we can get the technical call. But it went with the music, and that's a feat of choreography in itself right there.
Yeah, there seem to be a number of places where their elements were perhaps clustered together in a way that it was clear they allowed the music to dictate that placement, which is really key when you're trying to create a well-choreographed program, as opposed to just laying it out in a way that feels easier to skate.
Agreed. A lot of times people will set their elements. Okay, I want this here. I want to do the lift second, and then we need to leave enough space, and then you almost have to edit your music to match the way you want your elements to be laid out. This didn't feel like that. You're right. There were clusters that went with the music. Maybe a little bit ambiguous with some of the expression, like what is the emotion of this piece? It's not an obvious expression, so maybe that's something for them to work on and just think more about. But here you see their stationary lift, beautiful changing of position, just continuously moving. Here you can see them grabbing the blade for their first twizzle feature. That's a leg feature. They did a very nice job with their twizzle here. Their arm feature, elbow above the shoulder. They have the leg crossed behind for an additional leg feature. And then their third feature is a third twizzle, a little off with their unison. But wow, this dive over into the one leg. You can see him focusing. She's staying as strong as possible. She's got to be a statue and then flip around. In their spin here, she's got to have this nice camel where she's horizontal. He's got to be below 90 degrees and then balancing in this rotational position. How does she not flip over? I don't know.
Don't try that at home. Well, Tiffany is actually originally British. She then moved to France, represented the French team, before ultimately teaming up with Jonathan Guerrero, who is actually from Australia. So it is around the globe and back again for these two to come together, now representing Russia. So that's a season's best. They needed 103.07 to lead, and they made it. So they are the current leaders.
And with a 1-point deduction, which would probably be from a lift that went over 7 seconds, there's a 7-second limit. You go over, you get a point deduction. Wow.
And that is most often the case when you see a deduction in the absence of a fall in the ice dance competition.